A pleasant good evening to each and everyone in Georgetown, Guyana, and the diaspora. Fred, a pleasant good day to each and every one of you again. Guyana is a nation, our Guyanese is a nation with a lot of jokes and don't even know it. Especially when a crime is committed against a citizen and a dollar bill can settle everything. I now see why the courthouse are full of corruption and bribe and justice fall through the crack. Well, I'm going to prove something to you all here today. And I'm talking about the allegation about the ministers that been accused for bugging the young girl, rape her, do all kind of things according to the young woman. Now, what makes this thing more nice? And I am looking at this matter very carefully. Where is the international community? Where is the United Nations? And where's the Catholic? Where is the United Force leader? My friend, only one thing to tell me that that did not happen. A doctor must examine this young girl and cannot be from Guyana, because during the time of the late Lyndon Sample Force Burnham, a man was shot dead by the Guyana bank, it's alleged. I was a kid, so I missed the date. And Dr. Balwan Singh, one of the Balwan Singh, because there's so much of them, I don't know which one, it's alleged, make the bullet pass through the sink. And when was asked about that, he was highly annoyed. But corruption. And what can you expect? Indian people create corruption. I have no apology to this, it's true. Let me tell you a story before I continue. In 1971, I was approaching India, 1972 to be exact. And I was on a ship, and we were making jokes and everything else. And an Indian guy was with us. And he was smiling, whether he understand English or not. And he looked at all of us, but he was very smart. He said, I wanted to tell all of you something. When the white man, as the European, and the African is calling themselves the black man and the Chinese, and other think they're smart, we Indians are 100 times smarter than them. He said, and to prove it, as the story was told to him by his grandfather, when England had ruled India, there was a competition that India had the greatest thief in the world, Baghdad, the thief of Baghdad. They said the Spanish was the biggest thief. Everybody was boasting and bragging who's the biggest thief. But if we calculate it, all those countries who own other people's countries, colonial master, have to be the master of thieves. So I was sitting down personally listening to the joke. He said, my friend, I want you all to understand, as the story was told to me, that this white man came out of the jail of England, of Liverpool, and he came to Bombay, and they give him a lot of pounds, which is counterfeit, and he was walking all over India, and nobody picking, and he had people following him around making report. His suitcase was untouched according to them. His hotel room was clean, security was every corner, and yet he claimed when he was leaving, he met to the place with the steamship to leave. The embassy of England, the governor and all of them believed they have the right man, and India would lose this. So he met a beggar sitting by the door before he boarded the ship. And he had 10 or 12 rupee, and he take it, say he will not take Indian money to England because English people are the greatest thieves. They give them back their money, it didn't have no value. So he see an old man with a broken foot sit down, and he gave the man the 8 or 10 rupee. And he said to the man, do you know why I am giving you this rupee? because I am living in India, because I am the world's greatest thief that England got as an Englishman. So the man said in English, my brother, what are you talking about? And he replies, Englishman, I am the greatest thief in London and the world at large. I am carrying the medal for that. I walk all over India and nobody robbed me. And the man replied, my brother, if those money in that suitcase was good money, you wouldn't have nothing leaving the suitcase. He was shocked, he got a heart attack. Do you know what that means? India had the greatest thief. The thief and put it back and he didn't even know. And therefore, India is full of crime. I asked many questions. According to the news, it's alleged a young girl changed her story so many times. One time they said she was offered $10 million. Now I hear 50. Well, I got a message with this young Amerindian girl. I don't blame you to take the amount they give you if it so happens it's alleged. Because some of them in Guyana having sex for $2 in the hotel. And if he rape you as it is claimed is alleged, and you will get millions, you still get something. But let me be honest with you, and God forgive me, all you effing Amerindians have been robbed and raped. Your nation, your resources, and your way of life being raped. How much money does that value? Tell me, where are Shuma? Where are the educated Amerindians? Where's the Tishao? You illiterate people. But it's not your fault. That is your country. The young girl was raped, buggered, and all things as she claimed is alleged. Because y'all got so many stories, I don't know which way to pick it up. But you're 15. If that really happened, Guyana is no exception. You cannot win in the courthouse with corrupt politicians when judges and magistrates sell their soul for a few dollars and a position, and the police sell himself for a raise of salary and couple dollars to change people's case, lock them up, and even beat them and kill them. And the killers, well, I tell you what here today. By the will of Allah, Bhagwan or God, your days are numbered. And I don't blame the Amerindian woman, but if she had waited a little longer, you could have sued the government for hundreds of millions, providing your story was true. But nevertheless, it's not over yet. Because during the black leadership under the late Burnham PNC for 28 years, a lot of Amerindian women was raped and have sex with police officers who was ruling the area, and you're scared to talk because y'all have no representative. United Force leaders shut them out and didn't do anything about it. The place by the ferries telling where y'all used to stay, according to information, is alleged taken away. And y'all went by Radio Demerara, which I heard also taken away. I don't know. It's alleged. Well, I'm asking you Indian people. You tell me you believe in Krishna, Bhagwan. You believe in all, Mother Sita, Mother Lakshmi, Mother Kali. If y'all have done this to this young woman with any remarks of threat and money, may God strike it upon your children and your grandchildren, and before y'all die, y'all go mad and eat your shit. Because there's an injustice that's been done. Okay? I am not saying that the minister do it. But I am still convinced money talks, bullshit work. But we are talking about a nation. Young lady, if these things really happen and you change your message, I want you to know, I forgive you, you're innocent. But your whole effing nation, the 9 tribes, was raped your natural resources and was raped of everything. Like the black man of Guyana, the Caribbean, and elsewhere out of Africa said the white man raped Africa and take the resources. So this is what the coolie and the black done to you in Guyana. I'll tell you one thing here today. They love to kill. But their days are coming. They won't escape it. The world changes. How you kill Ali? How you kill Barrett? How you kill Mr. Norton? I'm not saying y'all per se. So don't take it wrong because y'all don't know fucking English. I said that. Because when a mayor, an Indian mayor, Narayan could say, all because I'm a Hindu and he's a Muslim, y'all pull him in handcuff and take him out of the mayor's office and say he's done wrong. Speak English. Get out of this hamna jani kuch nahi. Come up with this bullshit. If the black man come out of Africa as a slave and can be number one in the English language, and you Indians from India claim that y'all are so educated, y'all in Senegal Galley, y'all are in the computer, and y'all in Guyana can't understand English? Something wrong here. We can speak Spanish, French, German, Italian, but you cannot speak English? My friend, there is a God. I am not saying that the minister raped the girl. Out of her mouth, it's alleged. And if she changed, I wouldn't blame her because maybe threats was used, it's alleged. And money passed. Well, young girl, if Indrani Sati Kalauti can have sex in Oro to $2 and $3, and he do yours and give you millions, I don't blame you, but don't run away that it didn't happen. Because I want the international community to give you a psychiatrist checked out and a lie detector test. You could have sued that government for millions more than what is given unto you according to my information. It's alleged. And I can be honest with you, both parties got blood on their hand. I'm not saying Mr. Norton may have blood in his hand. I'm not saying that. But members of PNC, APNU, PPP, y'all have blood on y'all hand. And this is not alleged. This is on the ledge. Okay? And I know y'all waiting to lock me up and do what you want, but y'all got a message coming. Try that shit. You better start learning Spanish and Portuguese. And remember these words, America get what America wants. Because America put Burnham in power with the help of the girl. It's America put Jagan in power with the help of the United Force again by Mansour with 3 seats. Okay? So I want y'all to get to understand this. When you two race wake up, it's going to be too late. Your daughters will become whores and beggars. Your sons will become criminals while the politicians are enjoying life and big cars and millions of dollars in the bank when y'all don't have $1 to buy rice and sugar. Guyana is a rich country. I would ask my cameraman to play the calypso, and I want to congratulate the young calypsonian. What a great song for a corrupt nation. Play it, please.
Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up.
Embarrassment for so, and I sure everybody don't know. A member of parliament embarrassing the government. Find himself in a situation involving people, young children. And now the story gone everywhere publicly. So in order to stay out of prison, he hired the best lawyer in the land. But justice must be served. Let this man get what he deserves. The government tried to keep it a secret, but now everybody done hear it. And now they're feeling shame. The minister making headline again. But if the minister lie,
Lock him up.
if he want to cry,
Lock him up.
a prison sentence would be nice for the rest of his life. Beg the court to hurry.
Lock him up.
Don't show him no mercy.
Lock him up.
Please tell the magistrate this minister must be charged for rape.
Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up.
Since this minister find himself in hot water, and the DPP trying to toss out the matter, And even though with all this protesting, up to now they can't charge him for nothing. Because they don't care, they want this story to disappear. So in order to dissolve it quickly, they decide to come up with hush money. Bribing poor people is the only thing that these people know. Right now they're just dancing around the case until they get everything in place. And then you're gonna hear the entire case disappear. But the minister foolish,
Lock him up,
real stupid and dotish.
lock him up,
Send him to prison because that is where he belongs. And while he in prison,
lock him
I
up,
hope they teach him a lesson.
lock him up,
The court shouldn't hesitate. Send this animal to jail for rape.
lock him up, lock him up. Lock him up, lock him up,
2 inches of embarrassment is all that the man got. Yet still he got the nerve, raping people, children with that. Not long ago in New York City, he showed the thing to a young lady. Though this wasn't right, he invited she over to spend the night. But like he had no furniture in the place, so he begged she to sit down on the place. So that we don't forget, all of this was on the internet. So now is a clear understanding why this minister keep misbehaving. Now we understand he got a weakness for a Marinian. But if the minister freaky,
lock him up,
wicked, stink and dirty,
lock him up,
they should lock you up immediately and throw away the key. This man must be condemned. Assign him to the prison system. Hurry up before it's too late. Send this minister to jail for it.
lock him up, lock him up. Lock him up, lock him up.
Yes, my friends. First, let me take this moment to congratulate the young Calypsonian. And yes, that is what you call quality. That is what you call music. The reality of a nation. And everything that brother sing about, I congratulate him. And I think every Guyanese should give him a great applause for that because he deserves it. My friends, sometimes I ask, I was born in Georgetown, Guyana, British Guyana. And I have traveled to 87 major countries. I don't count islands. And yes, people ask me, what were your jobs? But if you look at my passport, several different passports, with one name, by the way, different countries. Flew with private jet all over, but I don't boast and brag. That maybe was my gift by Allah, Bhagwan or God. Because I could tell you these hands don't thief. I don't lie on people. I don't want nothing from people. But so help me God, if you scratch my skin and you make I open up this mouth, whatever comes out shall be you and your generation. Check it out. I have no fear. And if y'all kill me, which means if you kill the body I live in, I hope y'all find one for me because I'm coming in your house. And y'all ain't gonna like it. When you're making love with your wife, you will see my face. When you drop the soap, is I gonna pick it up and give it to you. You could go to the best Obia man, believe me. Find out about George Correa in England in a court scene in 1973, represent thyself. And in 1994, the 24th, 1996, 15th or 14th of June, check it out in the Supreme Court in 161 in the Bronx. I have a history. Some of my opponents, without touching them, they burn to death. I am like that. Don't cross my line. Okay? I know who I am. Because I didn't pick it up. It's not obia, it's not magic. I believe in what I believe in. And my God don't let me down. Find out who know me. And I'm going to tell all of you, you Indians especially, you have suffered a lot under the black government of Burnham, not Hoyt. Clear that line. Not Desmond Hughes Hoyt. Under Lyndon Sampson Fast Burnham, a lion son of a effing bitch. That's the man you suffer under. Racism and corruption was a part of his idea. But my God, and under Desmond Hoyt was a different story. And many Indians, when Hoyt was hanging the guys who was kicking down doors, raping and killing, y'all were happy, and I don't blame you. But you must understand, your all Indian people had hands in it. But when Dr. Jagan take over and came to New York, and he had a big get-together in Manhattan, I was there, and he was interviewed, and he says he's ready like Freddie for the next election. Dr. Don Paul, a friend of mine, I think, he also gave an interview, and he said Dr. Jagan is ready like Freddie. Christina came to me, the reporter. She said, Mr. George Corral, I've just interviewed Dr. Jagan, and he's ready for the next election. And Dr. Don Paul, his supporter, says he's ready like Freddie. What do you say? I said, Dr. Don Paul is right, but not an election. It's a selection in the graveyard. He went home and he died. Came back, and they said he died in Walter Reed Hospital. Let me tell you bastards something. America gets what America wants. After World War II, I want you all to read the Monroe Doctrine and get into the Geneva Agreement. And we will die for America, democracy, and freedom. Because the only country uphold it, even though corruption is plenty too. Don't get me wrong. So I'm appealing to the Congress of America, President Joe Biden. It is better to have 10 friends than 10 enemies. If you put leaders in country that you know that is not working right, help to move them to replace them with what will work in the right for humanity, democracy, and freedom for all under this blue sky. For it is better to have friends than enemies. We tried Saudi Arabia. They bombed the Pentagon with plane. They make our pilots look like shit. They flew the plane into the Pentagon. They flew it into the World Trade Center. They make the Japanese suicide mission look stupid because the Muslim people believe that if they die 9 o'clock and believe in Allah, 2 minutes after 9 they're in the hands of Allah. I don't think Allah is a warrior. Stupid teaching. But again, you have done it all over the world. And today, our country, America, because we are all in the Americas, is carrying a bad name. It's time to regain your consciousness if you are drunk, America, and wake up and let's unite for democracy, human rights, and fairness under this blue sky. We don't want communism. We don't want extremism. And we do not want gangsterism like what is happening in Georgetown, Guyana. We are all English-speaking country. The Amerindian people have been ill-treated by the East Indian descendant and the black descendant. But the Indians are corrupt. They are not racial. They are very corrupt, vindictive, covetous, spiteful, and very ungrateful. But at the same time, 15 to 20% of them are decent human beings because they have to be careful with their own brothers and sisters. The Obiama and the Kalimite Church, which means, if you don't know what mean Obia, voodoo people. And the blacks are the only one who talking about white man slave their ancestor when they slave the effing Amerindian in Guyana and in the Caribbean and take over the people country, but don't talk what they do to them and talk what you people, you white race have done to their ancestors, what they read, but what we see cannot go away, my friends. I want you all to understand I'm not a racist. I got all the blood in me. My time might be short on earth in the physical human being body, but in spirit, it may reincarnate to something else. Or maybe in your family. So I warn the killer, don't try it. Because you got family too. And for the police and the military, the civil servants in Guyana, educated people, who more black people are educated than the Indians, I call upon you all for unity. Stop listening to members of APNU. APNU have members from the PPP who cross the floor vindictively because they were kicked out. And they are very vicious and vindictive. Ask Ram Jatan, he know what I'm talking about. But over Ram Jatan, we shall meet. Okay, Nagamutu? You don't know who's behind us. For what you have done, may God have mercy upon you and your family. And Mr. Nagamutu. And David, for the mistake you make when you give him my letter, you have sold my son case to the devil. You're lucky I told you not to go back to Cuba because they would have killed you with a cancer injection. But don't worry, there is a God, and we all going to meet him one day. But plenty of them will eat their shit before they die. And I call upon Hamilton Green. Speak the truth, my brother. Speak the truth, because life does not belong to you and I. We are living it. Let Guyana be united. It's only the two races, the Indian and the black. One are racial and one are corrupt. It is like the mongoose and the snake. You cannot trust the snake because it's too sly. And the mongoose would bite up everything in your house and might give you rabies. So you got to be careful. But amongst it, you have good and bad amongst every race. Walter Rodney, the late. Omar Wali, great man. Waddle, great man. And many more, whose name I wouldn't mention. But when you deny people justice, and I called upon you, Ali, if you believe in the teaching of Prophet Muhammad, close all whorehouse down. Close the liquor store down. Let the people buy the liquor from the supermarket and take it home. And you, the military, the police, and civil servant, every Guyanese deserves a piece of land to build a house. And to be given 50,000 to 75,000 US dollars per family. But we want to stop child mother and child father. And just as how Guyana begins, the people from Africa, the descendant, we want people from there to come to Guyana from Ghana, or wherever the blacks came from. And India, because today those people are much more educated than you fools are in Guyana. And let me tell you, Africa is a great continent, but was betrayed and defeated by all the leaders. No politician is your family and friends. And if you have family and friends and living off of the blood of innocent people, I hope you know hell is saying by Satan, welcome, if you believe in it. My friends, I'm a human being. I could have born white, yellow, blue, green, but not the Rainbow Coalition, even though they say that Jesus said, love your fellow man, and everybody said that's a gay way of living. Well, I'm gay because I'm bloody happy. But if you talk about homosexuality, I am not a part in that reality, but I am nothing against the people and their private property. Okay? That's a personal problem. Because I have a lot of friends who use their property and exchange it because they want to be happy, but not me. All right? I believe whatever you want to do, that's your personal business. Is you can fetch your cross, not George Correa. And before I continue, I want you to know that you are living in the world's richest country, but you'll be denied by your politicians who are full in their pockets, their friends' pockets, and got their hands in corrupt business. So, cameraman, would you mind release? Let these foolish people wake up.
when other countries have in the past, and there's a lot of wealth that can be made if used appropriately for the entire population.
Okay.
I think I agree with what Tom is saying right now. The money is staying a lot in the hands of a few people at the top.
Yeah. Melinda, listen, given how poor quickly Guyana is, isn't a less than optimal profit model still better than nothing?
Guyana is not a poor country. And I think it's really important for people to understand that. This is a country that is and always has been extremely rich in natural resources. The people are poor, and the reason the people are poor is that for 6 decades, the politicians of Guyana have squandered the money that has come in. All that is happening with oil is that it will make it worse. And Mr. Sanzillo gave a very good example of how politicians are now using that money for their own purposes. You played an extract from the president's speech in which he talked about supporting infrastructure and economic transformation. That is not the role of the government. The government's job is to take care of the people, and the people will decide what happens with the economy. You free up the economy to competition within the country and let the market decide. You do not have the government making business decisions, and that is exactly what is going on now. And the government is not competent to make business decisions. So when we hear all this talk about the oil wealth, first of all, there is no oil wealth because it's a very bad contract. Secondly, all the risk is on Guyana. And thirdly, when people talk about the 4th richest reserves or the 4th largest reserves of oil, what we're really talking about here is a country that now has the 4th largest reserves of stranded assets because these will not be burned.
Okay, Melinda, that will have to be the final word. Unfortunately, we're out of time for this edition of The Newsmakers. I'd like to thank all 3 of my panelists sincerely so much for joining us, and our viewers, of course, for being with us as well. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter, and do be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Andrea Sankey. We'll see you next time.
I released that video for you to see. And what you saw there is not lie. George Correa, many years ago after returning from Saudi Arabia, Holland, England, France, Belgium, and you name it, I went and I met Dr. Jagan in Freedom House. He took me into a room by himself. And he looked into my face and he gave me a few books also when I was leaving. The Western trial that I take for a man named Weeks in Port of Spain, Trinidad. When I shook his hands, I feel a heat. And my voice was saying, George, you're shaking the hands of Judas. But I believe in the man. Because I myself had joined the PYO with Wilson grandson or son. But after 2 weeks, I sit down and a voice was saying to me, get out of it. That's where I meet a lady named Indra, I think she died now, and many more. So friends, if you believe in God Almighty, Allah or Bhagwan, and you're really sincere and decent and honest, He will move you out of the crowd of corrupt people. Then I form and I come back to Guyana many years, and I joined the WPA. I was a member of URP, NRP, WPA, Justice for All. I joined everything to bring about a Guyana for all Guyanese. And I never asked for money or leadership. All I ask is for unity, because I know amongst the two races, they're good and bad. But there are more better black people than East Indian descendant. I am sorry. Prove me wrong, and you could have my head. If you cannot live good with your mother, brother, and sister, your sister lie, your brother lie, your father lie, how the hell your ass would live good with me? Come on now. While in the black community, mother lie, brother lie, sister lie, sit down and singing kwekwe and dancing anti-Betty music and little calypso, eat little fried rice and coconut rice, black pudding and pone, and everybody living happy and they're going home. But when you Indian people have a little get-together, it's cutlass and chopping up and bottle pelting. Tell me, are your people civilized? So I'm calling on the younger generation now, before it's too late. If you read the Bible with Moses as Musa, he crossed a whole set of your ancestors across the Red Sea. And he went to get the message from God or Allah back one. And they were living recklessly. One man got one woman in this hand, another one locked by foot, he couldn't walk. Prostitution, drunken behavior, loud music, and make a golden calf. And he threw the bloody commandment in their face. If you really study the Bible, the Quran, and the Ramayana, it is very close to each other. I call upon you all in Guyana. No parliamentarian is your family and friends because they don't care about you. They are using and divide you all. And I want to warn you, the black people. What happened in the 60s, you Indians must never forget it. The Jews will never forget what Adolf Hitler did to them. And you must not forget what the blacks done to you, but not Guyana blacks. They were only the looters. Fagerty burning down, Booker's burning down, betting courts burning down, J.P. Santa's burning down. The hungry people were fetching stereo set, fridge on their head. And some was even fetching amplifier with music because they wasn't thinking right before the fire destroyed them. Think, my friends. So Guyana black people only argue and talk, but they're more loving and kind and devoted. I will trust 300 black people, man and woman, instead of trusting 13 Indian. I'm sorry. I grew up in your blood. I got your blood in me. I see what my sister-in-law, a coolie woman, in Russia go been for my coonie. I see what my uncle and wife done. And I see my Indian mother, how she separate us. So I could tell you the truth, I never see a black woman separate her children. I never even see a buck or an Indian do that. Not a Portuguese, no Chinese, not a mixed race. Friends, I know y'all don't want to hear the truth, but guess what? I don't care one jackstrap, because you don't mind me, and I don't want nothing from y'all. Ask Mansour who's George Corral. Ask Max Mohammed who's with Exxon. As I was made to understand, is alleged. He go out to Peru with his deal. A man whose wife take $59 for 7 or 8 Polari when she offer it, a coolie. Think, I walk this walk and I ask my God every day, who am I and what am I here for? And I tell you the truth, y'all got some great people in the Indian race, but y'all don't associate because they don't want to see y'all. Y'all are corrupt. The decent, honorable Indian. A man, if I remember right, Ricky Singh, it's alleged, Bonham slapped him and he went to Barbados because he was writing a newspaper. You hear? But I shouldn't be Ricky Singh. I would have killed that bastard immediately. Trust me. But you black people, you're quick to go on the street, beat, burn, broke up, box them, Plaisance. Every time there's a political problem, you stop the Indian car, beat them, rob them. You think you're doing good? Or in Jonestown, look what happened in Enmore or Rose all the other day. Over the back of son, the police killed a young boy. You all should go to the police station and get the police and his family, not those innocent people. Come on. They didn't do y'all nothing, so y'all rise the soul that was about to wound, to heal. Y'all rise it. Y'all open it. Say, even if it wasn't right, now y'all take the blame. Are y'all not ashamed? Did you see Joseph Harmon there? Did you see Mr. Norton there? Or any leading members from APNU? You didn't see Ramjatan there? Nagamutu there? Be careful, Caesar, for Brutus is in your corner. And be careful if you're blind. Don't eat or drink, because Brutus poisoned Caesar. And this goes to you, Norton. And this goes to you, Mr. Ali, you are trying your best, but you spread out. And as I release the Calypso, congratulations to the young man. And I hope every Guyanese could give him a few dollars. I'm prepared to give him a few. Great song, great composition. And also, them corrupt judges, magistrates, and police, keep away from it because your name got called by these politicians. And plenty of you will face charge for murder, imprisoning innocent people, and y'all wouldn't like it. I'm warning you, this will change. Look how stupid are the government. Venezuela wants 60% of the country. The only thing saving your ass is America. And I'm an American.